to the city's disciplinary framework, and these measures are to ensure that the integrity of investigation and affirm the accountability irrespective of ranks.
Meanwhile, controversial Northwest businessman Brown Mokhotsi will appear before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria this morning as it shifts into Phase 2 of hearings. Phase 2 will give those implicated in Phase 1 the opportunity to respond to the allegations leveled against them. 2 weeks ago, Mokhotsi survived an alleged assassination attempt after a car he was travelling in was shot at several times near Vosloorus on the East Rand. Mokhotsi has been mentioned at the Commission as someone who allegedly meddled in police affairs. Oren Singh reports.
On the 5th of March, during a Parliamentary Portfolio Committee sitting, the name of Brown Mokhotsi was first made public by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkonazi. Mkonazi accused Mokhotsi of meddling in police affairs and being a close associate to Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. Evidence previously presented before the Madlanga Commission showed alleged WhatsApp exchanges between Mokhotsi and criminally accused tender tycoon Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. The messages show that Mokhotsi received more than 100,000 rand from Matlala in gratification payments with the promises to arrange a meeting for Matlala and Mchunu. Mokhotsi also facilitated the payments for flights and accommodation from Matlala for several ANC delegates to attend the January 8th celebrations in Cape Town. Suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya confirmed that he knows and met Mokhotsi on at least 2 occasions. Mokhotsi is also understood to have close links to Crime Intelligence Head of National Security and Counterintelligence, Feroz Khan. Aryan Singh, Eyewitness News.
The final big G20 event before the Leaders Summit this weekend starts in Johannesburg today, with more than 5,000 people expected to gather for the social summit. The platform was first introduced by last year's G20 host Brazil and aims to bridge the divide between high-level decision makers and grassroots movements. Among the priorities of the 3-day agenda are digital inclusion, climate justice, food security and sustainable finance. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
In keeping with the G20 theme of solidarity, equality and sustainability, the G20 Social Summit will bring together youth movements, women's organizations, faith-based groups, disability advocacy groups and community forums. Minister in the Presidency, Kumbutso Ntshavheni, says the groups will be discussing global issues that have a direct impact on their daily lives.
It's not only governments that decide the future, it's also ordinary citizens that must contribute to what decision makers do.
She says the G20 Social Summit aims to elevate issues of social development, equity and inclusion to the same level as macroeconomic and financial matters.
South Africa's G20 is not an elitist congregation. It's also informed by what our people think.
While it's unlikely the United States will continue with this platform when it takes over as host of the G20 next year, South Africa says it wants to ensure ordinary people play a role in shaping the outcomes of the G20 process. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
And US President Donald Trump has hailed the UN Security Council's vote in favor of his Gaza peace plan, claiming it would lead to further peace all over the world. The plan includes the deployment of an international force and a path to a future Palestinian state. And under the resolution, the force will work with Israel and Egypt, along with a newly trained and vetted police force, to help secure border areas and ensure the process of permanently demilitarizing non-state armed groups, including Hamas. Until now, police in Palestine have been operating under the authority of Hamas. The resolution was backed by 13 countries, including France and Somalia, with none voting against it, and Russia and China have abstained. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz.
President, and thank you to the Council members for this historic and constructive resolution. Thank you for joining us in charting a new course in the Middle East for Israelis and Palestinians and all the people of the region alike.
Gold is trading at $4,022.21 an ounce. The rand is at 17.18 to the dollar, 22.62 to the pound, 19.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.81 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu Interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 22 degrees. The top story in EW in this hour: the city of Ekurhuleni has launched an internal investigation into its officials who've been implicated in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
EWN In Touch. in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
7 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the show. I hope you're well this morning. Thank you for joining us here on 702. Our show starts with the 702 open line on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Can you believe that as we speak now, there are currently 3 commissions of inquiry taking place? Well, 2 commissions of inquiry and 1 parliamentary inquiry. Today, in the parliamentary inquiry, investigating allegations of corruption in the criminal justice system, Mary de Haas takes the stand. She's an academic. She has spoken on the political killings in KwaZulu-Natal for a while now. She's the person that complained about the political killings task team to the minister in Parliament, accusing the task team of being a law unto itself, of committing murders and framing other people, etc., etc. So her testimony will be quite key in Parliament today because, remember, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has questioned her intentions regarding her complaints about the PKTT. What do you expect from her testimony? What do you want to hear? And then we have the Madlanga Commission, which is also investigating allegations of corruption and infiltration in the criminal justice system. Brown Mokhotsi, who recently tried to convince us that he survived an assassination attempt, is on the stand at the Madlanga Commission. He's been accused of facilitating financial transactions from Ket Matlala to fund the police minister's presidential ambitions. He has claimed that he has had access to classified information before. He has claimed to be part of police operations. He really is a chance taker. He's an information peddler, in my view. His comrades in the ANC in the Northwest have said that much. But how far does his influence go? He once called us on the show behind the scenes to tell us that the National Police Commissioner was about to be arrested. I mean, that's how crazy he is. I mean, it never happened, of course. A few weeks ago, he seemingly staged an assassination attempt, according to witnesses in the East Rand. Or did he genuinely survive an assassination attempt? Anyway, we're going to hear from him today. We'll be taking that testimony live. What are your expectations from his testimony? Remember, Abel, he once promised to reveal it all when he appears at the Madlanga Commission. I must find that clip for you where he says, when I go there, men are going to cry. So, was he just taking chances, or is he really going to expose it all? What are you expecting to hear from him at the Madlanga Commission? And then, finally, we have the Commission of Inquiry into Johannesburg prosecution's boss, Andrew Chauke's fitness to hold office. The inquiry was established by President Cyril Ramaphosa after he suspended Chauke amid serious allegations. Chauke, remember, is accused of quashing the prosecution of politically connected individuals and making questionable prosecutorial decisions. And guess who's testifying there today? Well, it's Chauke's boss, the head of the NPA, Advocate Shamila Batohi. What a busy commissions of inquiry filled day. By the way, the United Nations Security Council yesterday voted to adopt U.S. President Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan. The peace plan authorizes an international stabilization force in Gaza to enable Palestinian self-determination and statehood. The resolution mandates the demilitarization of Gaza. It talks about border security and the coordination for humanitarian aid. But it still faces some rejection from Hamas. There are some critics as well who've argued that the plan perpetuates occupation under different terms. Even Israel is unhappy about what the plan says about a Palestinian state. So I wonder then how phase 2 of the peace plan is going to be implemented when there are differences about what the plan envisages. So yes, the plan is endorsed by the United Nations Security Council, yes, and of course, that's even though Russia and China abstained. But will this plan chart a new course for the Middle East? Let me know your thoughts. 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. You've got that clip? of Brown Mokhotsi? This is Brown Mokhotsi threatening to reveal it all the day he appears at the Madlanga Commission.
Is going now to come to action because the side of my story with those messages and everything that you see, I'll be explaining to say, this is my relationship with Ket Matlala. Didn't you like it when the Deputy National Commissioner said we met in Cape Town and I forgot to pay my coffee or my breakfast? You must just think along those lines. Thank you so much.
Hey, that's what he has been claiming. So we wait to hear this morning if he's going to reveal it all. So between 10 and 11 o'clock, we'll take you live to the Madlanga Commission to hear from Brown Mokhotsi. At 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. And today we're discussing how to deal with boredom in your career. Do you ever feel like the hours are stretching out at work even though you're doing the same shift day after day? Well, we'll tell you what you can do when you start feeling boredom creeping in your career. And then 11:30 on our health and wellness feature, we are going to have a discussion about the benefits of bathing or bathing, as others say, versus showering. Are you more of a shower person or a bath person? I'm a shower person. I really don't know where people get the time to run a bath, get in there, and then you must clean that bath tub afterwards. I don't have time for that. There are some of us who bath once, probably in a year, if not 2 years. Because the shower does the job, doesn't it? Well, apparently, when you bath, that can improve your heart health. It can improve you breathe easier, your brain, your nervous system can benefit from bathing. But listen, I get all these benefits from showering, but I'm not an expert. So we're going to hear from an expert on our health and wellness feature at 11:30. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Let me tell you, I will explain it bit by bit. Why was it important for me to inform Ket? In one of the radio stations, I said, if Ket was able to fund the ANC January 8th with 100,000, whatever, don't you think he has told me who else has he given money to? Who else? Because now they're making Brown Mokhotsi and they're talking about this 138,000 for the January 8th. Yeah. A lot is coming.
You hear that? A lot is coming. It's 14 after 9.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
Should we not be slightly more aggressive, though, in addressing this? Because this administration's focal point is, in part, local governments being able to drive economic growth.
I agree with you. The performance of the councillors has also to be monitored. If you deploy somebody as a councillor, as a party, you need to be monitoring their performance. You need to know that they're doing what they should be doing. A lot more needs to be done even before we get to the end of the term.
Dr. William Kiza, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
As leaders in renewable energy finance, Nedbank is a proud sponsor of the B20 Summit with 47 billion rand invested in renewable energy projects. Nedbank has financed 5 gigawatts of clean energy capacity. This proves that Nedbank doesn't just fund transformation, they fuel it by shining a light on Africa and its power. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
Progress builds, it moves, and it has a partner. That partner is Anglo-American. Together, we're building progress where it matters most across South Africa. With a 1 billion rand investment into education in our host communities, $15 million pledged to the Global Fund to support community-based health services, 1.6 billion rand in deals facilitated through our Impact Finance Network. And as a sponsor of B20 and G20, we're bringing that same spirit of partnership to a global stage, proving that when collaboration is real, progress moves faster. South Africa has a partner. Join the conversation on social media. Anglo-American, mining potential, building beyond.
Let's count backward. 5, insurance. 4, pineapple. 3, insurance. 2, pineapple. 1, you're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
In the world of junior sports, bullying is sidelining more young athletes than Broken Bones ever could. So this Friday on 702 Drive with John Perman, we'll be joined by Supersport personality and coach Jonathan Mokoena to unpack how bullying chips away at confidence, mental health and performance, and why so many talented kids are walking off the field for good. If sport is meant to build character, then we've got to face what's breaking it. Don't miss this important conversation made possible by the Discam Foundation this Friday on 702 Drive. The Discam Foundation, caring for the community.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
17 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm going to come to your calls and your WhatsApp voice notes in a moment. But as the B20 Summit kicks off, we are in conversation with Nedbank, proud sponsors of the B20 Summit. This year, we are part of history as the summit happens for the first time ever on African soil. And this is the continent's moment to shift from inclusion to influence. But how will finance serve as a lever for development, for infrastructure, energy security, and inclusive growth across Africa? Well, to find out more, today we're in conversation with Dr. Terence Sibiya, who is a managing executive for the rest of Africa and subsidiaries at Nedbank on 702. Nedbank, as you know, is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. Dr. Sibiya, thank you so much for making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Thanks for having me, and good morning to the listeners.
This G20 presidency has been called Africa's moment, a chance for the continent to move from inclusion to influence. What does this shift actually mean in practice?
Clement, that's a very good question, and I think it's important for us to also just contextualize what G20 is for the benefit of the listeners. First of all, G20 is an international forum. It's actually got 19 countries, plus then the European Union and the African Union, and they typically get together at these summits to discuss global economic and financial issues. Really, their purpose is to also try and promote international economic cooperation, etc., and also address some pressing global challenges. But for our purposes, Clement, this means, as it's the first time it's happening on the African continent, it means that for the first time we won't be just participating in global finance. We're actually going to help shape it. For the longest time, Africa has just been a follower of frameworks that are designed elsewhere in Europe and the US. But for the first time, we have this opportunity to co-create some of the rules that are going to guide how finance reflects our priorities as Africans for growth, and also inclusion in the global financial system. So for us, we're proud to be able to lead this charge from being policy takers, for instance, to actually shaping the policies, Clement.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about redesigning global finance, what does that actually look like on the ground? Because you've mentioned that before, that Africa faces $100 billion annual infrastructure shortfall. So how do we even bridge that gap?
Yeah, look, it begins by first acknowledging that finance must just do more than move money. It actually should build societies. We should be using money from, for instance, shifting short-term flows to sort of long-term investments. And I'm glad you bring up in areas like energy, infrastructure, logistics, our building capacity with Transnet, and then obviously more importantly now, digital systems. At Nedbank, for instance, what we've been doing is directing about 189 odd billion rands towards some of these sustainable development goals. So, for instance, we've invested about 47 billion rands in renewable energy and 29 billion in agriculture and a further 3 billion odd in water and sanitation. So these are the investments we should be making that shape societies, driving job creation, and also building resilience across the continent, Clement, not just in South Africa alone.
So some might ask, whether Africa has the institutional capacity to deliver on this scale. What gives you the confidence that it can?
Well, if we look at our institutions, whether it's asset management, asset managers, banks, pension funds, we actually have very strong institutions. They are well regulated. Their markets are reasonably deep. And so, for instance, we have capital strength that can give us this inclusive growth. In other words, we have the money. It's just a matter of driving the money towards sustainable and inclusive growth. For instance, in the SADC and East Africa region, we need to collaborate better with government, so through public-private partnerships, to make sure that this capital is directed towards long-term investments for infrastructure that's going to develop the continent at large. Clement?
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about finance being able to do more than just fund projects, and we want it to transform societies, how does that idea sort of translate into action?
Typically, it's when finance or when money, in simple terms, reaches the people. It reaches the areas where it is most needed. For instance, we have gone through a period as South Africa where we've had load shedding, and through renewable energy projects, for instance, we've been able to now power rural clinics. And when SMEs then also join the local supply chains, and when young technicians are then trained to maintain this infrastructure, that is when finance is working as a social catalyst. That's when it's reaching the places it needs to make an impact. And also, for our purposes at Nedbank, we've always said that we use our financial expertise to do good for people, for the planet, and also for the shared prosperity of the continent. So it is really literally directing the money to the areas that are most needed instead of just moving money for the sake of moving money, Clement.
Yeah. So it's a question I've been asking everyone I talk to ahead of the G20 summit. What is Africa's message to the world as we head into this G20 summit?
Clement, our message is simple. We're credible. Africa is ready. And we're very capable also and ready to collaborate with the global financial systems. From our perspective, we're actually ready, more ready than now, to co-create the systems that are going to shape our future. We hear every day people talking about Africa's abundance in minerals, and more recently, critical minerals, for instance. But we've been asking the question through this G20 process, critical for who? So it's our time now to shape that these critical minerals must work for Africa and also improve the lives of Africans. So finance must become an excellent lever that we can design our own progress and prosperity as Africans across the continent, Clement. This is what it's done for us as G20.
Well, Dr. Terence Sibiya, thank you so much for speaking to us. Managing Executive for the rest of Africa and subsidiaries from Nedbank. The Clement Manyathela Show in conversation with Nedbank as the B20 summit kicks off here on 702. It's 24 minutes now after 9 o'clock.
.702 afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
How does the massage work? And I'm assuming you are doing it from inside. You're not actually holding the womb with your physical hands, or is that what you're doing?
So you're doing it from the abdomen. You're actually doing it from the outside. So like the people who are trained to do it, who are experienced at doing it, they know how to feel for the top of the uterus.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying it's gently but firmly. You don't want to be too rough that you're making the mother uncomfortable, but there is a level of discomfort that goes with doing it.
Dr. Dalsi Rakomakwe, who is a medical doctor and the CEO of Quad Care.
702 afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Let's live more. Bring your daydreams to life with Norwegian Cruise Line, sailing to over 400 exciting destinations around the world on 21 spectacular ships. Explore iconic landmarks in Europe, hop islands in the Caribbean, and much more. When it comes to dream holidays, think NCL. For the best cruise deals, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the premier life,
FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Your voice, your station, your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
26 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go to your WhatsApps on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Clement. Jack here from Amaskapa. Regarding the Mokhosi issue, I think we are going to have an anti-climax here. This is a 69-year-old recalcitrant, incorrigible man. I don't even believe his surname is Mokhosi, coming from the Eastern Cape. So there's a lot of tricks there. And I think he's going to just carry on lying because he has been born into and graduated out of a web of lies kind of network. So there we go. I think there's not much that we can expect from this Mokhosi guy. He has long been in this game of the underworld and crooked lies and everything. Jack from Amaskara.
Yeah, in fact, I see Jeremy Michaels, the spokesperson for the Madlanga Commission, is addressing protesters outside of the commission. So people seem to be protesting there for some reason. Let's take a listen.
Else we are starting phase 2 today with Mr. Mokhosi's testimony. We are still going to run phase 1 alongside phase 2 because of scheduling issues. There are still some witnesses that we haven't heard in phase 1. Now, just so that you understand, phase 1 was about the allegations, which of course on the 17th of September, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi was here for 3 days outlining the allegations, and all 35 witnesses who have come since, 27 witnesses over 35 days of hearings have come to substantiate and corroborate those allegations by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and others. So today we start the process of getting those people who are implicated to come and answer to the allegations and to give their side of the story, because of course the commission is based on principles of fairness and justice. So really what I want to say to you is thank you for bringing these matters to our attention. It's very important when you demonstrate to follow the legal process. But having said that, we accept the correspondence from your General Secretary. I will take a copy of it. And we are also going to, thank you. We are also going to make sure that your correspondence goes through the process in the commission, because of course there is a formal process for accepting allegations and evidence which is critical for the commission. So we will be through the General Secretary getting the correspondence. We will put him in contact with the Secretary and the investigators, and thank you for bringing the very serious allegations to our attention.
So that's Jeremy Michaels, the spokesperson for the Madlanga Commission, addressing protesters outside the Madlanga Commission. It's not too clear yet what they've been protesting about, but they're holding placards there. And I'm sure we'll get some clarity from Eyewitness News throughout this morning as to what they have been protesting about. In fact, I'm also watching closely the Madlanga Commission inside the commission now. The chairperson of the commission, Justice Madlanga, has just arrived. Brown Mokhosi is expected to also make an entrance in a moment. Remember, as soon as the formalities are done, we'll be taking you live to the Madlanga Commission to really hear the sort of things that Brown Mokhosi will be exposing, but also how he will be defending himself against the allegations that have been made so far. It's 9:31. Time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Fiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The city of Ekurhuleni has launched an internal investigation into all its officials implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Last week, the commission heard alarming testimony from several officials alleging Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department or the Metro Police Department has been infiltrated by criminal elements. Some of the people implicated include EMPD's suspended Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi and former city manager Imogen Mashazi. KwaZulu-Natal-based researcher and crime activist Professor Mary de Haas will be grilled over her role in the directive to disband the Political Killings Task Team when Parliament's police inquiry resumes today. The Haas will take to the stand to testify before the ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption and interference after being mentioned by several witnesses, including KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And Nigeria's football coach Eric Chell has accused the Democratic Republic of Congo of practicing voodoo after his squad's hope of qualifying for the 2026 World Cup ended in a penalty shootout loss in the African playoffs final. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Travelling in Calvin, we've got heavy delays on the N3 North. This is between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu Interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive. That's due to an accident between these 2 points. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. If you're heading towards areas like Sandown, Santon, or even Melrose, please try to use Rivonia Road and then navigate your way through the areas. If you are travelling along the Mike 1 North, we've got roadworks right near the Crown Interchange. Delays coming out of Boyson's Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North just as you approach the Golden Highway. That's in the south of Joburg. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Part of the 702 family.
From the undeniable chemistry of Bongani and Adam on The World View, to hanging out with Clement, to sports and good things too with Mandy and Brent, discussing the upside of failure with Relebohile Maboja, to a song, a book and a dish with John. Who can forget Stephen navigating us through personal finance? 702 has everything for everyone. It's informative, it's witty, it's real. Let's walk the talk. Balisa in Waterfall.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Congratulations to the lucky Powerball Plus jackpot winner who won over 6 million rand on Friday after playing at a retailer in Lone Hill, Gauteng. Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 44 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday, and you could win big. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Push-Up Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
For the first time on African soil, business leaders from across the globe are gathered for the B20 Summit in Santon till the 20th November. On the agenda is inclusive growth and prosperity through global cooperation. Every day, the Clement Manyathela Show will be in conversation with Nedbank to discuss all the news, views and insights live from the B20 Summit. So tune in to 702 in conversation with Nedbank, proud sponsors of the B20 Summit. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's go to your WhatsApps on 072 702 1702.
Clement, good morning. So many commissions of inquiry. But the major question is whether these commissions have teeth. Because all I see is talk. And Cyril Ramaphosa's administration will go down in history as having commissions of inquiry without having anyone arrested. It's a sad indictment for his administration. Anonymous.
Hey Clement, it's Alfios here in Soshanguve. This Mukhosi guy, he just claiming. I don't think anything special will be exposed today. He just bluffing. Ono to say fela, ona nto special ko bolelang ka jeko. But I believe Rob Anchinya na ko insi ba tsuhile because of our on Piri. So, but I don't think anything special will be revealed today that we don't know.
Matimesa. Yeah, no, finally, our comedian thug and the liar, Mr. Brown Mokhotsi, is appearing on Madlanga Commission. Yeah, but me as a 702 listener, I'm expecting nothing from him. I'm expecting nothing from him, Clemsa. He's a chance taker. I agree with you. He's a liar. He's a chance taker, this one. And yeah, I'm sure, man. Nabutsotsi bayasho ay mthako kiparu. Thanks, Clemsa. Thank you for a good show, Matimecha.
Hi, Clement and the team. What worries me at testimony of Madlala Mokhotsi is that the public won't buy whatever they will say. The public will only buy what they say if they accuse Mutunu and Sibia. But if they accuse General Mkwanazi, then the public will treat them as con artists. So for me, it's just a futile exercise. David.
Let's wait and see. Hey, I think it's really going to be interesting. What comes out. Miss Lee on the WhatsApp line says, "Hi Clement, didn't Ace Magashile say he would also reveal it all? Didn't Zuma also say the same thing? We're still waiting, crossing fingers that Brown Mokhotsi is different and actually reveals it all. I doubt it'll happen, but just imagine the drama if he keeps his word. We're truly indeed a country with endless possibilities." Yeah, and of course he has to also he has to be quite cautious because he also doesn't want to not so much incriminate himself, but he doesn't want a situation where he's going to land in trouble. So he also wants to somehow protect himself because he knows that some of the people perhaps he may expose are powerful politicians who may make sure that he will never, ever, ever live a comfortable life ever again. Like they'll go after him in whatever way. Or maybe like Angelo Agrizzi, he's going to have some conscience and he's going to come out and explain what has happened. Because he says, if you think Ket Matlala has only done things that benefited Senzo Mkhunu, then you are mistaken. And remember, we are probably going to hear from Ket Matlala next week. That's a possibility. Parliament is trying to make plans with the Correctional Services Department so that they can go to Pretoria, where Ket Matlala is imprisoned, and they can hear his evidence from there. And if Ket Matlala is going to come out and reveal it all, can you imagine how many people are going to be implicated? Can you imagine Ket Matlala under oath before the ad hoc committee confirm that I gave Shadrach Sibia this amount of money. These are the cops that I worked with. These are the politicians that I've assisted. Yo, that's why I've said, I hope that man is safe. I hope he's safe. Not for his good, but for the good of this country, because we need him to expose the rot. We need him to expose it all. And maybe he's going to tell us a thing or two about Hangwani Mulaudzi. Because we don't know much for some reason about him. Yes, we know about the tenders. We know about what he's been implicated in. He's still not arrested. His assets have been attached. Not all of them. But we need more information about how, if this is really a syndicate, how it's operated. And I really pray that Ket Matlala reveals it all. I really hope so. Because once at least he cooperates with the NPA, maybe the NPA will be able to go after the big guns. John, you're calling us from Senton. Good morning. Hello, John.
Yes, Clement.
Sure.
We're about to have the mother of all testimonies from Mokgotsi. I believe Mokgotsi and Matlala will say it all, without any doubt. I don't think that Mokgotsi is bluffing. I think he's got the information. And I think he will spill it. He's got nothing to lose. And the same with Matlala. That's what I think will happen. They've got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
the thing that he did there by... Yeah?
Yeah, no. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, you know, we are claiming that he shot the car and all that. He wanted protection. That's all he was looking for.
To go through that drama, John. Also, I mean, he didn't even, if he really did that, he didn't even do it right. Like, who drives the car, gets out, starts shooting at the car, and he must watch the more movies to get some ideas. I mean, that was weird. Yeah, but John, who knows? Maybe he was trying to actually say, I need protection. But then if you're going to be given protection by the state, you must be able to give the state something as well. I mean, at the very least, I mean, do you have information that can help the state uncover this criminal syndicate? Or do you just want protection for your own sins? Yeah, it's just weird. And I hope they'll ask him a question about that at the commission, that accident, because he refused to even open a case. What a weird man.
Hi, Clement and team. Mapari here. I expect Brown Mokgotsi to lie to a point where they will say, let's reagent, let's come back another day, so that he can go and get his facts right. Because I believe that he's going to go the delaying tactics route. But we'll see. But if there are no lies, that's not Brown Mokgotsi.
Hi, Clement, Punalin Centurion. Clement, I think we're going to see another Cedric Ngabinde stand here with Brown Mokgotsi. I think the politicians know at the end that, you know what, these commissions are just a mockery. Nothing will ever come out of it. Just go there, play ignorant, play dumb, and thumb suck if you want to, and nothing will ever happen. They will just pull their hairs and tell you to come back one other time, and yeah, you'll get away with it. Don't stress.
Yeah, got you. All right, it's 15 minutes now before 10 o'clock. Let's go for the break. Okay, in fact, I'm told that Brown Mokgotsi has already started speaking and explaining who he is and what work he does. So let's rather take you straight to the Malanga Commission first.
Informant and an agent. You see, an informant will be any person. It even happens in different situations. We may be a group of three probably doing something illegal or stealing. And when I happen to be arrested alone, the moment I tell the police the truth and tell them, even yesterday we stole something and we left it at a particular place, and the police goes there and find whatever that I'm saying. And further probably tell the police, look, even next week or tomorrow we are planning to break somewhere, and the police goes there and they find that it's true. My friends were attempting to steal or they were breaking. The particular person can also be regarded as an informant, or a police officer may be knowing the movement of this person, his environment, and may also make that particular person an informant. But when it comes to a contact agent will be recruited by a crime intelligence officers or official. And that recruitment will include certain things based on your history. They'll also, usually they'll even recruit an individual who has been an informant for some time. There is a particular paragraph in here which gives the difference between an informant, the definition of a co-handler. But what I need to emphasize, and a co-agent, sorry. A co-agent, unlike a...
Sorry, can I just clarify, when you say co-agent, are you referring to contact agent?
Contact agent, okay, contact agent. A contact agent is having a different, is usually empowered with an instrument that is it's utilized by all organizations, criminal intelligence organizations in the world. It's a very sophisticated instrument. It's called the legend building. In its definition, it's more like creating a false life or a backstory created for a clandestine operatives. It is an essential component of spy cover identity designed to withstand scrutiny and conceal the identity. Now, this contact agent, as I said, there is a particular paragraph which gives, it's paragraph 18. It says a contact agent is a person who is recruited by a crime intelligence officer, which is referred to as a handler. A contact agent is expected to establish a network of sources and informants in order to execute the task, and the handler would from time to time assign to the contact agent in the field. It goes to say a contact agent does not carry any form of identification which would refer to him or her as holding that designation, because a file with the contact agent details is kept in custody of his or her handler's possession. Now, all payments for services rendered by a contact agent and disbursement incurred in the execution of his or her duties as a contact agent are paid in cash by the handler after having completed the necessary paperwork. And usually, a handler would recruit a contact agent with the knowledge that the contact agent has been informant for South African police services proceeding his or her recruitment. And it further says, a contact agent can thus be described as a person who acts as a link between an intelligence service and informant or undercover operative. He or she passes information, instruction, or resources between the two while protecting the identities of those involved. He further manages the safety and secrecy of the communication channel used. For example, in South Africa, Crime Intelligence Division, a contact agent might liaise with police intelligence officers and civilian sources who provide information about criminal activities and or investigation.
If I can just clarify a couple of issues. You talk about payments. Can I ask, when you were an informant, were you ever paid for your services as informant?
As an informant, yes, you would be reimbursed in some way.
And as an agent, have you been paid as an agent?
Yeah, when recruited, you will obviously, after meeting your handler, after a week or so, he'll come and probably give a recruitment fee of some sort. And you will gradually be talking about your tasks and so forth. And here and there, he will assist you and bring you some payment, which all the time you'll have to sign some papers on receiving of that payment.
And when you, as an agent, run informants or have informants, are you empowered to pay them, the informants underneath you?
Commissioners, there is no way. You may just know that a particular informant has claimed so and so much true, and because you will be talking to the handler, there's no way you can pay. It is only the handler who can pay the informant. And just to add, commissioners, even the handler on doing the payment will never come with a friend or a colleague. It will only be you and the handler.
So if your informants were paid, it wasn't you who paid them, it was one of your handlers who would pay them?
Commissioner, may you repeat the question?
So if your informants, the informants who you had when you were building a network as an agent, if they were paid, it would be the handlers who paid them, not you?
It will be the handlers, that's correct.
You've talked generally, you mentioned building a legend. Can you just explain to the Commission what you meant by that in that regard?
The legend building. This instrument, when I said you will create a false life, in one of the statements, you see I said one of my communications with General Mkonazi, for example. I sent him a message that how is your relationship between yourself and Lieutenant General Khumalo? And he asked, what did he say? And I said, no, he was putting a remark that you are not listening to the crime intelligence. But the moment he advanced more question, I said, the minister has been briefed, or I said, General Khan will brief you next week. It's just to create a false life. You create a perception that the person can start talking to you.
But in your case, the legend that you created didn't involve any different identity from your actual identity as Brown Mokhotsi. You didn't.
Yes, I remained Brown Mokhotsi.
Can you then take the Commission to paragraph 16 of your statement and explain what happened in December 2020?
During December 2020, I was called by the Lieutenant General Mfazi. It was just after the PPE scandal, after the COVID-19. And it was also after the arrest of Divisional Commissioner Lieutenant General Jacobs, Major General Kalakala and the others. And when he called me for a task in my capacity as a contact agent to investigate, also to check the irregularities within the crime intelligence and South African Police Service. And that time, Lieutenant General Mfazi was the Deputy National Commissioner of Crime Detection. And I mean, you referred to a brief to look into irregularities within crime intelligence and SAPS. That's quite a general brief. Was there anything in specific that you were specifically that you were asked to look at? Yeah, for example, that period he referred to, there was reference about procurement of some vehicles by crime intelligence, which could not be traced, and other transactions. For example, you would have a proof of payment to informers, and you will want to establish if really these informers did receive those payments and so forth. Can you continue then to paragraph 17? Yes, that's where Lieutenant General Mfazi wanted the particular handler to be my handler, and I told him no, but I do have a handler, General Mfazi, who was Warrant Officer Mabizela. But then the one that he called, then agreed that he'll be my co-handler.
So, Lieutenant General Mfazi essentially gave you a co-handler to work alongside Mabizela.
That's correct.
And as far as you were concerned, was there any division of labor between the two handlers? Was there work that you did with Mabizela but not your co-handler, and work that you did with the co-handler and not Mabizela?
No. Yes, we will. The handler is the one who will always give you tasks, but in circumstances where the handler is not available, we'll also say, please talk to the co-handler, or I have spoken to the co-handler, please work with him in this particular project.
So as far as you were concerned, the handlers were a team that was managing you. There wasn't like, as though Mabizela dealt with you in relation to a particular project. Co-handler had nothing to do with that, but he dealt with a different project.
Now, if there is a project, the co-handler will know and be notified by the handler. A co-handler will not initiate any mission without the main handler, the handler himself.
Now, in paragraph 19, you indicate that you need to protect the identity of the co-handler. And you say he undertook to be interviewed by me, and that interview, in fact, took place yesterday. I don't want you to name the co-handler in open commission, but can I ask you just to write on a piece of paper which you will show to the commissioners the name of the co-handler, so that if at a later stage the co-handler is called to testify, we know that we're talking to the same person.
Commissioners, may I approach my counsel, please?
Okay. Okay. Brown Mokgos is still trying to consult there whether he can even write on a piece of paper who this co-handler is. He has already said Warrant Officer Mabizela is his handler, but there was another person who wanted to be the co-handler. So who is that person, and why is he protecting that person's identity, but Mabizela's identity is not being protected? Is he really even like a spy for the police, an informant, contact agent? It's 2 minutes before 10.
For the best game viewing, you go to Mpumalanga. For the best whale watching, you go to Hermanus. And for the best in investments, go to Nedbank. Earn up to 7.6% interest with the Nedbank Just Invest account and access your funds within 24 hours. For better returns, go with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring iStore. Their CEO, Chris Dodd, will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa. Join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za, because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 10 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. The city of Ekurhuleni has launched an internal investigation into all its officials implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Last week, the commission heard alarming testimony from several officials alleging the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department has been infiltrated by criminal elements. Some of the people implicated include EMPD suspended Deputy Chief Julius Mkwanazi and former city manager Imogen Mashazi. They are both accused of enabling the EMPD CBD to associate with criminals, including alleged underworld figure Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. Addressing the media this morning, Mayor Dr. Kagaza has vowed to ensure full accountability and consequences for those involved.
All implicated officials are similarly being processed through the city's disciplinary framework, and these measures are to ensure that the integrity of investigation and affirm the accountability irrespective of ranks.
KwaZulu-Natal-based researcher and crime activist Professor Mary de Haas will be grilled over her role in the directive to disband the political killings task team when Parliament's police inquiry resumes today. De Haas will take to the stand to testify before the ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption and interference after being mentioned by several witnesses, including KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The ad hoc committee inquiry continues after prematurely ending its hearings with Minister Senzo Mchunu Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde last week after he gave conflicting evidence. Babalo Ndenze reports.
Minister Senzo Mchunu told the committee during his testimony that several people wanted to engage him on policing matters, including Mary de Haas. He told the committee that de Haas wrote extensively to the department to share her inputs. De Haas also called for the disbandment of the political killings task team and an audit of its funding. KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi during his testimony urged the committee to invite de Haas to give evidence.
I want to challenge and I want to request this ad hoc committee to invite Mary de Haas, not visually. If she's in a wheelchair, we'll bring her here. But she must come here and sit in this chair and repeat that which she wrote. And then allow the honorable members to ask her questions.
De Haas's testimony will be followed by Deputy National Commissioner Tebelo Mosigili and Head of Procurement General Mole Fifani on Wednesday and Thursday respectively. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
Following a recent court ruling ordering the city of Johannesburg to register its informal traders, today marks the final day for the verification of street vendors. Earlier this month, the Gauteng High Court gave the city until today to register informal traders in the CBD onto its systems. The ruling came after the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa took the city to court, arguing that it had violated the traders' rights to earn a living. This was after the city decided to evict vendors operating outside designated areas without valid trading permits. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The city of Johannesburg has been working to clean up the CBD, which includes removing informal traders who've been operating illegally. More than 500 traders were affected, and the Gauteng High Court ordered the city to formalize them and provide trading stalls by today. Johannesburg Mayor Tata Morero says the process has been underway, but not all traders have come forward to register for trading permits.
211 traders were linked on the court judgment, and we have now allocated them space. We are just awaiting to finalize those that have refugee and asylum status, and once we have cleared those, we'll also allocate.
The city continues to deny that these actions were prompted by the presence of international visitors for the upcoming G20 Leaders Summit this week. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And Nigeria's football coach Eric Chell has accused the Democratic Republic of Congo of practicing voodoo after his squad's hope for qualifying for the 2026 World Cup ended in a penalty shootout loss in the African playoffs final. DR Congo and Nigeria drew 1-1 after extra time in the tie on Sunday, and the Central Africans won 4-3 on penalties to book a place in Inter-Confederation playoffs in Mexico next March. In his post-match remarks to journalists, Coach Chill said a member of the DR Congo team was to be blamed.
During all the penalty session, a guy of Congo did some voodoo. Every time. So this is why I was a little nervous after him.
Yeah. What did you see?
Yeah, something like that, with the I don't know if it's water or something like that, so.
Gold is trading at $4,022.21 an ounce. The rand is at 17.18 to the dollar, 22.62 to the pound, 19.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.81 a barrel.
That's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 North between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange. That's due to roadworks, while travelling in Kelvin, more roadworks are causing delays between Marlborough Drive and the Buccleuch Interchange.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The city of Ekurhuleni has launched an internal investigation into all its officials implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
6 minutes after 10 o'clock, Dumelang, welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. We've been listening to the testimony of, I see some people are dubbing him as 007, some are saying he's James Bond, because Brian Mokhotsi has just told the Madlanga Commission that he's actually a spy. He's an agent, a contact agent who's been recruited by government, by the South African Police Service. He says he was recruited as an informant, an agent for crime intelligence. So this is someone that crime intelligence paid to go and befriend even the criminals or get information, but he's got handlers that would tell him what to do. One of the handlers is Warrant Officer Mabizela. He probably is telling the truth because the commissioners are saying that yesterday they actually interviewed one of his handlers. So if he was lying, the commission would already tell us that, oh, this is not true because he didn't give us the handlers. I mean, this is quite scary. He doesn't want to mention his core handler for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe he's a prominent SAPS person. But so far we know Warrant Officer Mabizela. Brown Mokhosi says that's his handler. And he says that he was often gotten to go get information about certain things, to even sometimes investigate irregularities within the crime intelligence in the SAPS. Could we be noticing here spies that are fighting each other? Because what we are seeing from what Brown Mokhosi is telling us, if really he is an agent, and what the SAPS pretended like they didn't know him. But the challenge also could be that you're not allowed to reveal an informant. You cannot reveal a spy. He's just revealed himself. And I wonder what the implications of that are. Some of your responses are already coming through.
Yo, Clement. Now Brown Mokhosi wants us to believe Horeke 007. Yo, please, don't waste our open line on this guy. The lies have already started. Someone has obviously again coached him to say these things. And now get 007 inyana. Yo, Clement. Aye, come on.
Scams are upgrading faster than your phone software, and Quishing, it's the latest update you don't want.
Quishing?
Fake QR codes that send you to unsafe sites. One scan, and they've got your details.
I just scanned one at the airport.
Scanning random stickers in 2025. Brave move. Close that browser window. Scams can happen anywhere. Stay alert, and if you're unsure, contact ABSA on 0860 557 557. Protect your money. Protect your story. ABSA, your story matters. An authorized financial services provider.
The roads are mean, but the Peugeot's land track is meaner. Peugeot's two teams are battling it out on the roughest dirt tracks in Mzansi. Who's leading the most dirt wins challenge? Well, tune into Prime Media Plus every Monday. New episode to find out, because when it comes to off-road dominance, the land track isn't just tough, it's pretty tough. Visit peugeot.co.za for all the action.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
702 was in conversation with Nedbank, discussing all the insights, opinions, and expectations of the B20 summit.
So what the B20 does is it's a summit that happens before the G20 where business element to assist with policy initiatives is discussed and some consensus is driven and obtained through that space. For example, on the energy space, we will try to get some consensus of how the world should use the sustainability model, what can we do in terms of empowering or powering the world, the climate crisis, all those agendas, and bring a business element into that so that when the policymakers eventually do meet and the heads of states, it's well tuned in and of course it helps make it policy into a reality.
To hear the full lowdown, visit primemediaplus.com. Brought to you by Nedbank, proud sponsors of the B20 Summit on 702. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
11 minutes after 10 o'clock. Let's go back to the Madlanga Commission where Brown Mokgotsi is testifying.
It's a suspicion. Now, if a source says to you, King Misizulu and Lieutenant General Mukhonazi were recruited by the CIA, you start paying attention to everything they do.
May I please, it's a simple question. Okay. I don't even understand why you dispute what I'm suggesting to you. In my language, which is the Xhosa, hearsay is undiva. Okay. I've asked my co-commissioners what it is in Setswana, and they tell me that it's mabaribari.
It's true.
You know that?
Yes, I know that.
So all I'm asking you
That's
is
correct.
whether you accept hore.
It is
mabaribari.
Yes, it was mabaribari when it was first presented.
Yes, I'm
That's
not
correct.
asking about what you would then establish afterwards.
Thank you.
Fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks. I don't want you to misunderstand me.
That's correct.
Hearsay evidence is admissible in this commission. The only issue would be its probative value. That is what weight we attach to it. So it's still admissible. Yeah.
Thank you.
But my next question then is, what detail, if any, did your source give you on how the source knew that General Mkhwanazi and King Misizulu had been recruited by the CIA?
The commissioner, may commissioner rephrase the question? I don't.
What detail did your source give you on how they, that is your source, knew that General Mkhwanazi and King Misizulu had been recruited by the CIA? Did your source just say, do you know, General Mkhwanazi and King Misizulu were recruited by the CIA without more?
Yeah, it is without more. You just say, you know, King Misizulu he's been staying somewhere in the U.S., you check, and then you see how General Mkhwanazi speaks. He always tells you he was trained by the American and what. That's where everything started, commissioners. And indeed, even in front of the here and in our talk, he spoke about being trained by the American.
I'll tell you that I actually hold a degree from the United States of America. Does that make me a CIA operative? I'm scared I asked that question because you just might say yes. But can you please respond?
No, I cannot say that, commissioners. Investigation as it comes. Someone may say that, not to me, to another agent, to whoever, may say Commissioner Madlanga is a CIA. He may say that, not to me. Yes, that.
Thank you.
But just picking up on the chair's question, apart from the fact that General Mkhwanazi says that he received some training in the United States, did your source give you any information to support his allegation that General Mkhwanazi and King Misizulu are CIA agents?
Yeah. You see, when information came, commissioners, it further talks to the treatment which the combination of General Mkhwanazi and Misizulu, King Misizulu, how they treated the brother to King Misizulu, Prince Makati. The investigation took us to that extent that we ended up having to meet them.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, even though the question is not mine. I do not understand the question to be about what you established later.
Oh, okay.
It's about the stage at which you get the information.
No, there was nothing on top of that. Thank you. Understand.
I think maybe then go to paragraph 22, where I think you were heading anyway.
Yeah. Oh, this is where the source further indicated that in execution of his mandate from CIA, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi on numerous occasions sent members of the political killing task team to intimidate, harass, attempt to murder members of the royal house associated to Prince Makati. Now, a number of cases were opened with SAPS in KwaZulu-Natal related to this conduct. And these cases were, however, not investigated or acted upon by SAPS due to intervention of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, being the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal.
So, can you explain what evidence, if any, you received to substantiate the statement that this was in execution of a mandate from the CIA?
It is because we ended up, like I'm mentioning, Prince Makade commissioners. Part of my network, we ended up having to meet with them. Actually, they even came to Gauteng. We hosted them in Midrand, helped them to open a case as they were alluding. But that time, Prince Makade sent the aide and Prince Zulu. We came to Midrand. And after opening the case, due to jurisdictional purpose, the matter was then transferred back to Nangoma police station. We also have the case number mentioned here, commissioners.
You mention in paragraph 22 that cases relating to alleged intimidation, harassment, and attempted murder of members of the royal household associated with Prince Makadi were never investigated or acted upon by the SAPS. Do you have any details of these cases that we could investigate further? Are they?
That was said during when we opened the case. When we said, "Okay, come, let's open it and let's see what will happen." This is what came from the investigation, commissioners.
But do you have any?
No, except for the case that we opened. Except for the case we opened, this is the only case that we have.
And this case that was opened first in Midrand and then transferred to Nongoma, do you have any details of what has happened in that case?
The case could not be furthered, could not even be investigated further.
You say it could not be investigated, or
when you ask the complainant, they'll say there's nothing happening on the matter.
Then in paragraph 25,
Sorry, Mr. Chairperson, maybe let me just clarify something still in paragraph 22. Mr. Mokotsi, maybe before I ask my question, let me go back to 21, just to complete so that 22 makes sense. In 21, right at the end, after you say that General Mkhwanazi was trained in the United States, you say, and I read, they being King Misizulu and General Mkhwanazi, you say they were activated in that capacity to protect Western interests. I further obtained information from the source that Lieutenant Mkhwanazi was tasked to neutralize any opposition to King Misizulu. Prince Simakare is currently involved in litigation. And then in paragraph 22, and my question is, you say a number of criminal cases were opened with the SAPS in KwaZulu-Natal related to this conduct. And this is after the sentence where you say members of the political killings task team were sent to intimidate. These cases that you refer to, were they cases against members of the PKTT?
That's correct. In fact, and thank you, Commissioner. In fact, when SC was crossing to paragraph 25, I was going to ask Commission that I should emphasize that the reason the case was open in Gauteng was simply because it's not written elsewhere, but it's a practice that has been developed, that if cases were open against political killing task team members, not only in KZN, all over, and they would not be investigated. That's the thing I wanted to say.
Yes, my question is more specific. It is, you say there were a number of cases opened, and my question is, are those number of cases against members of the PKTT, accusing them of intimidation, harassment, and attempted murder? You're saying there are such cases that were opened?
Yes, that's what I said. There were such cases according to the investigation, but the one that we opened in Midrand, it was against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the case that was opened by Prince Ms. Makati.
And the ones opened against PKTT members, there are names to them. There are individuals, members who are named in those cases.
That perhaps the Commission, one will have to find out and try to get more information. But as I'm saying, on the arrival, as we spoke, they did say, we tried to open these cases so many times against PKTT, against General Mkhwanazi. Nothing has ever happened.
Yes. So that's what you were told?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But the one that was registered, it was against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you, Commissioner. And this case was it was registered at a regular SAPS station, not with an iPad.
A police station.
Can you then proceed to paragraph 25, where you talk about the Western interests that were allegedly being protected here?
Yes, that's the part I say there is a coal mine sources, and the export route thereof in South Africa. So it further says there was an apprehension the South African government may hold the output of coal via the Richards Bay port terminal. And the off-take portion of this coal route was owned by Israeli interest. It is for this reason that Richards Bay area became priority region and focus point for Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi.
Can I ask you just to expand on this, because there are a couple of issues I need clarity on. The first is where the concern arose about the halting of output of coal from Richards Bay.
You see, like I said, when the information came, commissioners, there was a feeling of the Israelis that because South Africa took Israel to International Criminal Court, that feeling amongst them was that even that trade route could be halted. And that's why they had now to activate their sources, being the King and Lieutenant General Mkhonazi. And I can also confirm that during that time, Prince Smakate was in a business engagement, with the Chinese, because I believe there was kind of agreement which was planned to be entered into, but it was opposed and it never materialized.
And you speak about the offtake portion of the coal route being owned by Israeli interests. So are you talking about, what share of the output that goes through Richards Bay are you talking about?
Yeah, well, the information one could not verify. Remember, the business interest was something which we never dwelt much into. The issue here was that the prince had a problem, and he knew that there is a coal going out from there, and it falls under his jurisdiction. They were part of it. I never got much information related to the shareholdings and so forth.
And did you investigate whether coal output from Richards Bay was increasing or decreasing over the period 2023 through 2024 and on to 2025?
We never got to that stage to investigate that part.
Of what relevance, if any, is your evidence about the intended transaction between Prince Magade and China? Is that of any relevance to your testimony today?
I don't understand the question, Commissioner.
You mentioned
28 minutes now after 10 o'clock. Let's take a quick ad break. After that, we'll take the latest in Eyewitness News headlines and we'll take you back to the Madlanga Commission. I'll also explain what you may have missed during the headlines and the break. It's 10:28.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actors-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Click season is different from any other ho. Oh? Yes, here's why. Mix and match any 3 festive gifts with a purple sticker.
Oh.
And get the lowest one free.
Oh.
With the famous Clicks Purple Sticker promotion. It's Oh. Only at Clicks. Feel good, pay less. Deals valid until 24 December or while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
As leaders in renewable energy finance, Nedbank has a track record spanning over 100 years. From pioneering large-scale solar and wind farms to financing complex energy infrastructure in emerging markets, Nedbank offers clients deep sector expertise, combined with the ability to navigate the unique challenges of Africa's just energy transition. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
In the world of junior sports, bullying is sidelining more young athletes than Broken Bones ever could. So, this Friday on 702 Drive with John Perlman, we'll be joined by Supersport personality and coach Jonathan Mokoena to unpack how bullying chips away at confidence, mental health and performance, and why so many talented kids are walking off the field for good. If sport is meant to build character, then we've got to face what's breaking it. Don't miss this important conversation made possible by the Dis-Chem Foundation this Friday on 702 Drive. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. 10:30, time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Fiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. We start with breaking news. Former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba has been charged with corruption in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court. Gigaba appeared alongside 4 other accused in the matter of a controversial Transnet locomotives deal worth billions of rands. Former Transnet executives Brian Mulife, Siyabonga Gama, Anok Singh and engineer Tamsanga Giane joined Gigaba in the dock this morning. More than 160 informal traders have been registered and authorized to continue operating in Johannesburg's inner city. Earlier this month, the Gauteng High Court set a deadline for the city to formalize more than 500 street vendors who had been prohibited from trading due to non-compliance. The city had removed these traders because some were operating outside designated trading zones while others did not have municipal permits. And International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says the government is still investigating the arrival of more than 150 Palestinians at OR Tambo International Airport. The group landed last Friday and was left stranded for more than 12 hours on the tarmac for not having the required permits to be in the country. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, travelling on the M1 South, we've got delays between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive. There's also queuing traffic near this route. The N3 North, this is now between Marlborough and the Baklu Interchange. Roadworks are causing these delays. And if you are travelling on the N1 South, Cleeve Hill Park, an accident that happened right near Winnie Mandela Drive. Delays from Rivonia Road, about a 15-minute hold up there. Please be on the lookout. While travelling on the Mark 1 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange, and that's due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. So please be on the lookout and continue driving with care. More updates coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
10:32. Let's go back to the Madlanga Commission with Brown Mokhotsi on the hot seat.
The Commission should perhaps direct attention to the crime intelligence in the archives. There is something called Boko Haram. It was a presentation, intelligence presentation, which was presented to the former Minister Bheki Cele. I'm going to give a bit description about that presentation. Commissioners, it was 6 pages. The Boko Haram, it talks to a man who was known as John Wick. This John Wick appears on the presentation of the intelligence presentation which was presented to Minister Bheki Cele. It has a picture of John Wick, his ID number, it has his previous convictions, pending cases and everything, all the matters that were withdrawn against him. It was in 2018 October, Commissioner. Commissioner, John Wick is Vosemose Ketmatlala. Even the picture is showing that. Now, former Minister Bheki Cele says now he only met him in December 2024. Now, one will ask again. He even said he didn't know him. He invited him to his house, and it was a freebie. He had to take it. And I should also share, it's within those messages between me and Ket Matlala. The story that Minister Bheki Cele was in Ket's house. It is true. We actually had to arrest Minister Cele at that time. He was affected by this POCA Act, the Proceeds of Crime Act. There was an arrangement. I believe when you get to those messages, one will be able to allude to the Commission exactly what happened. It was during the ANC Lekgotla when General Cele was in that house. And the basis which I also refer to, I'm saying when we reach there, it's written in my statement, the monies which Ket Matlala alleges to have given to Bheki Cele, they are there.
On the timing, when was Minister Cele in Mr. Matlala's house in relation to the award of the contract?
It was after the contract was awarded, Commissioner. The contract was awarded last year, and the information said, and it's not only former minister, it goes to General Masemola also. Not only General Cele. When the information came, they referred, of course, to General Cele, that he has interest in that. And it is true that he would, from time to time, talk to Ket Matlala. But that time, because he was the minister, we could not do anything. Hence, the instruction was that let's wait for the elections. And indeed, the ANC parliamentary list, when it was published, Cele was on the list around 200 and something to 300. We already knew he was not coming back to Parliament, and we waited for the new dispensation, and as a result, Minister Senzo Mtunu was appointed the Minister of Police.
I just want to understand, and this is my last question on this. I want to understand your point around Mr. John Wicks in relation to the award of the contract. If you are making any connection at all in that regard, what's your point exactly?
The point is that it is clear that General Cele, he knew Vusimusi Ket Matlala beforehand, because this presentation was done in 2018. And when the source says General Cele is having an interest in this tender, you'll ask him, but why are you saying that? What do you have? He'll say, no, with the information that is coming, go and check, but I know they are talking or they are meeting. He'll just give you a draft information as to this is what is happening.
If I understand you correctly, so you are basically saying at the stage of what you refer to as the Boko Haram presentation, Minister Cele knew of or about Mr. Matlala.
Definitely.
But at that stage, you are not suggesting that they had met.
Yes, they had not met. Let me say, because he was presented, and the picture of the presentation shows Vusi Matlala's picture. Doesn't show, there's no other John Wick. John Wick is Vusi Ket Matlala.
So he knew of or
he
about
knew
him.
of the man, yes.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chaskasan.
You speak with some detail about this presentation. You say it's 6 pages, October 2018. Have you seen it yourself?
Yes, that's correct, Commissioners. There is what you call compartmentation, what you call is a sensitive compartmentation information, intelligence information, sensitive compartmented intelligence information. Now, you as an agent, you can just see that. I saw it. And that's why I'm requesting the Commission to engage with the crime intelligence. I believe they will get the copy of that.
Do you know who in crime intelligence presented it to the minister at the time?
No, I do not know.
And do you know who we should ask in crime intelligence to receive this document?
I believe the Commission will, just like it has been doing with other institutions, will pursue that route to find a particular person who's relevant.
And beyond the description Boko Haram presentation, is there any detail you can give us that would enable us to track down this document?
To get the Boko Haram.
I need to know what we should be looking for. So I need to describe.
Oh, you say we're looking for Boko Haram presentation. Crime intelligence Boko Haram presentation. It's blue in color.
And October 2018.
That's correct.
Mr. Mokhosi, you, in that paragraph 26, right at the end, in page 7, you say the information was discussed. This is the information about Minister Bheki Cele's interest in the company. You say this information was discussed with my handler, who indicated that I should wait to action this until after the election. What action were you supposed to take?
No, he indicated that I should wait to action.
Yes, what is to action here? What were you supposed to do?
Yeah, meaning to inquire or to speak to anyone within or outside, because that's correct.
Okay, so it wasn't. I thought earlier you said something about arresting Minister Cele.
No, I was referring to the. Okay, Commissioner, I was referring to the messages which I speak to Kate about certain things that will show that I knew the time when Minister Bheki Cele was in Kate's house.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the second part, which is the last sentence in that paragraph 26. You say your handler held the view that changes would be made in this regard on a political level. What is this? What was the what did your handler say is the significance of political changes?
Yeah, meaning that there may be a new minister except Bheki Cele.
What did it matter? Did he explain why it would matter that there would be a new minister to your work, because you're going to action something?
Yeah, obviously, commissioners, if you are to investigate anything against the person on the seat who's sitting there at that moment, it's very, very difficult. So we had to perhaps wait for the new administration that would perhaps give us a breakthrough to find a way to talk to other people.
So what the handler was saying, that a new minister would allow you, or hoping that the new minister would enable you to conduct the investigation, to action which you were holding in abeyance? Not that way, Commissioner.
Obviously, when the new minister comes, will always come with new changes. We'll make changes to some important positions, which allows one to have access or talk to certain people.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Mr. Matlala, you then in paragraph 28...
Mr. Mokhosi.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Mokhosi. In paragraph 28, you then mention that after the elections took place, in September 24, your handler and I discussed the possibility of arranging a meeting with General Sabia. Can I first ask which handler you're talking about? And we won't mention your co-handler by name, so just refer to him as your co-handler.
Yeah, it was my handler, Mabizela, but in this situation, I remember very well that he did tell me that he spoke to my co-handler and that we should find a way to meet with General Sabia.
And why General Sabia?
One of the reasons from the source was that General Sabia was totally not involved in the awarding of this tender, and more relevantly, General Sabia was appointed exactly in the space of the late General Mfasi. So we thought we could find a way to create a relationship, probably.
And you say you called General Sabia. Why would you call him, not your handler?
It is in the nature of this work. You get that a handler will not call a senior police officer and say, we have this particular thinking or whatever. If he gives me the number, he gave me the number, and then it is me who had to approach Lieutenant General Sibiya. In case he does not agree or it does not, like what we would perhaps be proposing, the handler should not be having a problem at work now that he spoke to the Deputy National Commission.
So when you spoke to General Sibiya, you did so telling him that not telling him that your handler had suggested this, not telling him that you were an agent? How did it work?
Obviously, you send a message to say, good day, General, my name is Brown Mkhotsi, and he'll ask you a question, how do I help you, who are you? And you'll send a next message saying, I think it's important that I meet you face to face. There's something that may be affecting you directly or indirect. May we have a meeting, please?
Okay. We're going to take a quick ad break. He's now about to get into how he got to meet Shadrack Sibiya. And yeah, remember Shadrack Sibiya told the parliamentary inquiry that what Brown Mkhotsi used to warn him about happened. And now Brown Mkhotsi is saying, in fact, before he even met with Shadrack Sibiya, he told Shadrack Sibiya about certain things that he wanted to discuss with him. So after the break, we'll take you back to the Madlanga Commission.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Progress builds, it moves, and it has a partner. That partner is Anglo-American. Together, we're building progress where it matters most across South Africa. With a 1 billion rand investment into education in our host communities, $15 million pledged to the Global Fund to support community-based health services, 1.6 billion rand in deals facilitated through our Impact Finance Network. And as a sponsor of B20 and G20, we're bringing that same spirit of partnership to a global stage, proving that when collaboration is real, progress moves faster. South Africa has a partner. Join the conversation on social media. Anglo-American, mining potential, building beyond.
As leaders in renewable energy finance, Nedbank is a proud sponsor of the B20 Summit. With 47 billion rand invested in renewable energy projects, Nedbank has financed 5 gigawatts of clean energy capacity. This proves that Nedbank doesn't just fund transformation, they fuel it by shining a light on Africa and its power. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
702. Let's walk the talk.
12 minutes before 11 o'clock, Brown Mkhotsi now at the Madlanga Commission detailing how he got to meet Shadrack Sibiya. Let's take you there.
The mission was to bring this application in camera. And I know he had a view that he had to protect me. He couldn't speak what I'm saying here to the public. That perhaps a question will be posed, but we had General Sibiya, he even said, I didn't pay my breakfast in Cape Town. But I'm trying to say, it should not be misconceived that I'm saying something he did not say. He had a duty to protect me. That's why he could not allude openly that this is Brown Mkhotsi, we met. He just said, I came to him with information that someone is after you in crime intelligence. He did not speak to this that I'm saying, and this is what happened.
But your evidence is that you met for the first time in August, September last year.
Yes, in his office.
In his office.
That's correct.
And you say you briefed him on the two matters, the one of which was the tender of Mr. Matlala, which you've discussed. The other was crime intelligence corruption. What did you brief him on in relation to crime intelligence corruption?
At that time, there were so many things happening in crime intelligence. I'm going to be specific in relation to crime intelligence commissioners. There is one Major General Lushaba. He is the Chief Financial Officer of the Crime Intelligence. It's one of those incidents. He happened to, at his own time in Pretoria, met one, I don't know whether the girl was beautiful, but he met the girl. He took the girl to his house, and in the morning, the state laptop and the cell phones were gone. Major General Lushaba, instead of reporting that I had a visitor in my house, this and this happened, he opened a case of housebreaking against this girl. Now, as investigation was continuing, one of the crime intelligence officers, he was a sergeant, who was gathering information for this housebreaking case, he realized that this is not the housebreaking. Something different has happened. They started by cutting him off these WhatsApp groups and so forth. As I speak, the man is being fired for that, just to participate in that. Or let me say, part of the reason this was used, they may have something that they may have added during his disciplinary hearing, but this was the main reason he was kicked out of his work.
And when did that happen?
It happened, it was last year, but as I'm saying, I was talking to General Sibia. One will mention certain things in the crime intelligence. That's one of the examples that I have given.
You started using pronouns. I got a little bit confused. Is it Major General Lushaba who was fired?
No, the sergeant who was helping with the gathering of information on the docket.
Thank you. The he, got a little bit confusing. Thank you.
And this is part of what you reported to General Sibia at your meeting.
Yeah, if you talk of crime intelligence, I was also showing the commission, particularly what is being transpiring in the crime intelligence, and of course, we also spoke about that a bit.
Can I, sorry, just on that. The question from Mr. Chaskalson is, in this meeting in August of 24, when you meet with General Sibia, what did you brief him about crime intelligence corruption? Now, you've explained about the loss of the crime intelligence corruption. You've explained about the laptop being lost, somebody having lost their employment because they were looking at this. Is all of that what you briefed General Sibia about in August 24?
That's correct.
Okay.
What about the fraudulent claims? Or what about the claims you referred to earlier? Was that part of the briefing or not?
Yeah, no, we did.
No,
we did not get much into it. And actually, when we spoke, General Sibia was he did not trust me. He was not comfortable. We did not speak comfortably for a long time, but we did touch some of these things.
So is all that you spoke to him about in relation to the corruption, the issue involving Major General Lushaba, is that all you spoke about?
I did mention that, yes, I did mention that.
Is it the only thing you mentioned?
No. Or to General Sibia, yes, we spoke about corruption, and I did mention this thing about General Lushaba, but particularly I was too much into this one of the health tender Vosiket Matlala.
You say crime intelligence corruption.
That's correct.
And how do you relate the tender to crime intelligence corruption?
That's why I'm saying on this part, commissioners, if a person is not that comfortable to talk to, you will just say, there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of corruption in crime intelligence, and there is this. Then it doesn't give you much time to explain what we are referring to. But he did know that I told him I'm a contact agent and I'm having to deal with this corruption and so forth. And we spoke only particularly about the issue of General Losha.
You also say there, though, in that same sentence, that you also briefed him about the Matlala SEPS tender award. What about it did you say to him?
Telling him that my sources say it was not awarded in terms of the law. Probably let me use irregularly. It was not. It was irregularly awarded. There are certain things which were not done properly out of that tender till its finalization and appointment.
So as at August 2024, General Sibia knew that there were irregularities to do with the award of this tender?
He didn't know. I was telling him.
I'm saying you told him in August.
Yes.
So as at August, he had that from you, that there were irregularities.
Yeah, towards the end of August, I believe, yeah.
Thank you. And then maybe lastly from me, Mr. Chaskasin, if I may just finish off, sorry that I'm interrupting you. You introduced yourself to General Sibia, you say, and told him that you're a contact agent. Now, I would assume that he would have wanted to check for himself to verify you. You say he didn't quite know to trust you at the time.
Yes.
Did you have to tell him who your handler is? Because I would imagine that's relevant information.
Yes.
For him.
And unfortunately, he knew my co-handler.
Oh, he did?
Yes, co-handler. Okay.
He knew that it is your co-handler.
Yes, I did mention a bit that I'm working with this man so and so.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chaskasi.
And you then in paragraph 29 and 30 talk about how you gained the trust of General Sibia by letting him know your role in an arrest in the Northwest Province in an operation. Can you just tell us a little about that operation and what your role was?
Yes. At first, we got information about they referred to them as Nkabis, who were, in fact, a week before there was some shooting taking place in the area. And through the information, they had to come in 3 or 4 days from that previous shooting. And there were TOMS, this Tactical Operation Management System of the Hawks, who also came to Rustenburg. And then on the arrival, commissioners, they found security officers wearing black uniform, and they inquired about the permits and licenses for the firearms and rifles they were holding. And indeed, they were presented with such. And an hour later, they left and took a cover. Now, immediately within an hour, the anticipated gang of Nkabis arrived at that place. And the police came. It is on exhibit. The pictures and the rifles will be seen there. They are attached. There were 32 firearms, pistols and rifles from 17 suspects. Now, what happened on that day? It was this man who was heading the operation that I was working with, the Lieutenant Colonel, his statement is here and everything. He received a call from that time Major General Mboto. He was a Major General.
All right. So I'll explain to you after the news the rest of the story that he's telling there to the commissioners. It's a minute now before 11.
At Isuzu, we know every delivery, every kilometer, and every load is building something bigger. This truck month, set your business up for success with special deals across the Isuzu N and F-Series ranges. Don't get left behind. Speak to your Isuzu truck specialist or call 08600 Isuzu and secure your truck month deal today. Isuzu, with you for the long run. T's and C's apply.
Unlock exciting bonus prizes when you top up your Betway account with a Betway Bucks voucher. From millions in cash and bonuses to extra bets and so much more, every top up is a chance to score big. Head over to leading retailers including Pick n Pay, Checkers, Pep Stores, and Incredible Connection and top up with Betway today. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
Team, summer is game time in Mzansi. Every tap, scan, swipe, it all adds up. And FNB is giving us big rewards, partner deals, e-bucks, defense tips, and chances to score experiences money can't buy. But you're only in the game if you pay with FNB. So stay sharp, spend clever, and let's dominate. Get in the game with FNB. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider. NCRCP 20. T's and C's, earn rules and limits apply.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulum. Former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba has been charged with corruption in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court. Gigaba appeared alongside 4 other accused in the matter of a controversial Transnet locomotive deal with billions of rands. Former Transnet executives Brian Mulife, Siyabonga Gama, Anosh Singh and engineer Tamsanga Chiane joined Gigaba in the dock today. This comes after the NPA summoned Gigaba to the investigating Directorate Against Corruption's offices in Pretoria recently. Prosecutor Santos Minilal explains the charges.
And the accused is being charged on one count of corruption. Your Worship, it is not a Schedule 5, but a Schedule 6 offence. The state submits that the charge of corruption against accused number 5 is a Schedule 1 offence, and therefore the state has served him with a J175 summons.
More than 160 informal traders have been registered and authorized to continue operating in Johannesburg's inner city. Earlier this month, the Gauteng High Court set a deadline for the city to formalize more than 500 street vendors who had been prohibited from trading due to non-compliance. The city had removed these traders because some were operating outside designated trading zones while others did not have municipal permits. Providing an update in the CBD this morning, Mayor Dada Morero announced that the 161 approved traders will now receive official trading permits.
And we are now issuing smart cards today of 44 of the 161. The rest of the balance will be issued with their smart card by Friday, and they will be allocated to their stalls. So the allocation starting immediately as of today, so that they can start trading.
KwaZulu-Natal-based researcher and crime activist Professor Mary de Haas will be grilled over her role in the directive to disband the political killings task team when Parliament's police inquiry resumes today. De Haas will take to the stand to testify before the ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption and interference after being mentioned by several witnesses, including KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The ad hoc committee inquiry continues after prematurely ending its hearing with Minister Senzo Mchunu Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde last week after he gave conflicting evidence. Babalondenza reports.
Minister Senzo Mchunu told the committee during his testimony that several people wanted to engage him on policing matters, including Mary de Haas. He told the committee that de Haas wrote extensively to the department to share her inputs. De Haas also called for the disbandment of the political killings task team and an audit of its funding. KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi during his testimony urged the committee to invite de Haas to give evidence.
I want to challenge and I want to request this ad hoc committee to invite Mary de Haas, not visually. If she's in a wheelchair, we'll bring her here. But she must come here and sit in this chair and repeat that which she wrote. and then allow the honorable members to ask their questions.
The House's testimony will be followed by Deputy National Commissioner Tebelo Mosigili and Head of Procurement General Mole Fifani on Wednesday and Thursday respectively. Babalo Ndenza, Eyewitness News.
And International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says South Africa doesn't expect other suspicious people to come into the country after more than 150 Palestinians arrived in the country. The group landed at OR Tambo International Airport last Friday and was left stranded for more than 12 hours on the tarmac. It's understood that the travelers did not have the required permits to be in the country. 130 people were allowed to stay after humanitarian group Gift of the Givers offered them accommodation, and the rest went to other destinations. Lamula addressed the matter yesterday while giving a state of readiness for the G20 summit briefing at Nasrec.
And we do not want any further flights to come our way, because this is a clear agenda to cleanse out the Palestinians out of Gaza and the West Bank and those areas which South Africa is against.
Gold is trading at $4,022.21 an ounce. The rand is at 17.18 to the dollar, 22.62 to the pound, 19.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.81 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident. This is in Henops Parks in Shuri, and it's right on the N14 North. It happened after the Brakfontein interchange. It's causing delays. There's also queuing traffic along the M1 South. This is between the Baklu interchange and Marlborough Drive, also due to an accident.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba has been charged with corruption in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Eight minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. My goodness, we have been live since just after 9:30 at the Madlanga Commission because Brown Mokhotsi has been testifying, and I don't even know where to begin. From what you've heard so far, what do you think? What are your reflections? He claims that he is actually a spy. He's a contact agent, right? He claims that he's an informant. He was recruited by crime intelligence to be an informant. He's got a handler. And here's what makes it tricky. If you think he's lying, why is he telling us who his handler is? Because the handler can easily come tomorrow. This is a senior police officer. The handler can come tomorrow and say, this guy is lying. So put your emotions aside now, right? Put your emotions aside about Brian. I mean, I think Brown Mokhotsi is a chance taker. I think he's an information peddler. I think he's a ridiculous guy. I have no brief for him. But I'm trying to look at this objectively. The Commission of Inquiry, the Madlanga Commission, says they interviewed Brown Mokhotsi's handler. That in itself shows you the legitimacy of this. Unless the handler is lying, but that handler is someone senior within the SAPS. He's also mentioned another handler, Warrant Officer Mabizela. If Brown Mokhotsi is lying, Warrant Officer Mabizela must come out right now and say, that man is lying. I am not his handler. I've never worked with him. And if Brown Mokhotsi was lying about him being a spy or CIA agent, the commission would also tell us that the handler we interviewed yesterday didn't confirm that he is, in fact, an agent. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, I don't know. Maybe he's lying together with those handlers. But then they would be putting their work at risk. But if you missed what Brown Mokhotsi has said so far, let me give you some quick summary. I keep on sneezing. I apologize. That's why I keep on switching off my mic. I don't know what's going on. So far, Brown Mokhotsi has told the commission, the Madlanga Commission, that he's an agent, number one. An agent of crime intelligence. He says basically his job is he's got handlers. Handlers will come and say to him, we want you to look into this. And the reason you've got informants is because you don't want informants that are always going to be that are obvious, right? Informants must be, I could be an informant of the police and I'm just on air, on the radio. Yeah? I'm a broadcaster. That's all you know about me, but you don't know what I do at night. At night, maybe I'm meeting with my with my handler. It's possible. So he says he was once asked to even investigate or check irregularities within crime intelligence. He's mentioned Warrant Officer Mabizela as his handler. He says he's got a co-handler. One of the handlers was interviewed by the commission yesterday. He says that as an informant, he received... he spoke about Boko Haram. Remember, we've spoken about Boko Haram before on the show. Remember, this is that group in Mamelodi. Even journalists apparently were once a target of this group of feared extortionists operating as Boko Haram in Mamelodi. I remember we spoke about this at some point on the show. This was in May 2025, this year, in fact. I'm just looking at my notes here. So we discussed Boko Haram. And at the time when we were speaking about Boko Haram, I remember talking about how this is getting out of control. Extortion rackets are targeting schools, medical practices, hair salons, among others. These are extortionists. They are organized. And the police are not finding the kingpins. Guess who's the kingpin? Guess who's the kingpin of Boko Haram? Remember that guy called John Wick, whom we were told was the leader of Boko Haram? Brown Mokhotsi says, that's Ket Matlala. And Brown Mokhotsi says there was a crime intelligence report which showed the picture of Ket Matlala. So Bekikele knew already. Apparently in 2018 already, Bekikele knew that Ket Matlala is the head, is the John Wick of Boko Haram. Is that true or not? I don't know. He could be making this stuff up. But that's what he said so far. He's also revealed that they got information as informants that King Misizulu, the Zulu King, and General Mkhwanazi, the KZN Police Commissioner, have been recruited by the CIA. And he explains that the CIA, his handlers wanted him to meet with Sibiya. And he did meet with Sibiya to explain last year in, I think he said August or September, to explain that the contract that Ket Matlala received has got irregularities in it. So Shadrack Sibiya knew last year already of what's going on here. So there are two possibilities here. Brown Mokhotsi could be making this ish up just so that he can protect himself. The second possibility is that Brown Mokhotsi could be a spy. Here's what I think I understand a little bit about how spies work. And I've actually picked it up even with this scenario. I don't think the police can reveal who their informants are. Right? I don't think the police can reveal who is a spy, who's not a spy. Like, they can't say, oh, that's our informant. But the informants can reveal themselves. Because when I spoke to Godfrey Libya, the former head of the Hawks, remember I asked him, who told you that Katie Molefa was about to be arrested? He says, an informer. I asked who? And he says, I can't reveal who that is. And then a week later, we interviewed Malcolm X. Malcolm X revealed himself But he said, I'm not an informer, but I'm the one who called Godfrey Libya. But Godfrey Libya says, the person who called me is an informer. So Malcolm X probably also wanted to protect himself, because the minute you reveal yourself as an informer, the people you've been interacting with are probably going to come after you. Like, your life is at risk. Like, this chap here, his life is, if he's really an informer, his life is going to be at risk from now on, because he probably has so much information about criminals he's been hanging around with, or people he's been investigating behind the scenes. So I don't think, and I wonder, because some people are asking, but Dumisani Khumalo is the head of crime intelligence. How can he not know Brown Bokhotsi? But can Dumisani Khumalo reveal that Brown Bokhotsi is an informant? Can Shadrach Sibiya reveal that, oh, I met with Brown Bokhotsi, he's actually an informant? Yo, if really these are spies just fighting each other like this, that Rafadi guy, Calvin Rafadi, who was a security expert being interviewed in the media, he also claims that he's an informant. If these are informants and spies going after each other, are we going to have a country left? I mean, scrap that. Do we have a country left? That is so scary to me. Yelang, you're calling us from Fendale. What are your thoughts while we wait for the Madlanga Commission to resume? Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. I think I have just one thing to say. Do we not have enough problems with America than having this character, Brown Bokhotsi, bringing the CIA into our affairs? Like, do we not have enough issues? You know, it just takes one instance of America getting a whiff of this, and we are in serious trouble, because the CIA is not the kind of institution that one discusses lightly.
Hey, but they're also capable of anything, hey? Yelang, those ones. They're capable of anything. Yeah, I mean, they've gone to countries, and there's a lot that America has gone forward to do, and the work starts with the CIA most often. I mean, I'm not suggesting that that is the case here. I mean, in fact, when I heard this guy say that about King Misizulu and Jenam Kwanais, I just thought, oh God, reminds me of Jacob Zuma, who used to claim that, oh, this one is a spy. Ngwakura Matlodi is a spy. Kimang, who's the former finance minister? Pravin Gordhan is a spy. He was busy meeting with agents in America. So, listen, anything that comes out could be truth, could be false. But the issue of spies has been used before in the past in this country to delegitimize people and ruin their reputation. So when he said that, I just dismissed it immediately, because I thought, really? Are we back there? The bigger question for me is, if really these are spies fighting each other, if really this guy is a spy, and if he's not really a spy, can Warrant Officer Mabizela come out and deny it? Can the co-chairperson who was interviewed by the commission yesterday also deny it? Because that's going to clarify it for us, isn't it? Here are some of your WhatsApp voice notes.
Morning, Clement. I think we might have, room to believe that indeed Brian is an informant, because his lifestyle, when compared to the people he's allegedly associated with, two different lifestyles. I mean, even with the car that he was driving when he was under attack, it was worn out and all of that. And if he indeed had the money and all of that, then I know the lifestyles don't connect. Another thing, he's always been the guy that has always asked for money. If you would remember the screenshots, he was always asking for money, wanted money for this, that, and that. And another thing, why would he lie about being an informant? Because, ultimately he would have to reveal who hired him as an informant. In as much as we want to think he's lying, he also needs to reveal who had hired him as an informant and what were the reasons for that.
Good morning, Clement and your team. Clement, I'm listening to Brian Bokhotsi. In fact, I had to check myself if did I really wake up at 5 o'clock today, or it's just me still sleeping and dreaming about this Brown Bokhotsi and his hilarious stories that he is telling us today. You know, I knew that when he speaks about CIA, the next thing is going to be Israel Mossad. The next thing is going to be Scotland Yard. Next thing is going to be the Russians, Chinese, North Koreans, Iran, secret agencies. Yeah. Today we have a live show from Northwest.
So Brown came out and say, I'm a snitch. A snitch. Impimpi. Is it possible to get evidence of which information he gave that led to an arrest? Because I don't trust this guy. Someone openly come out and say, I'm a snitch. Aye.
Yeah, listen. And once you say that, you're in trouble. But also, this is a man who has also lied before in the past. And that's the tricky part here. What is going on? And for me, what I'm looking forward to next is I want the SAPS to come out and disown him. Because that's going to say to us that he's lying. If the SAPS are not going to come out and say he's lying, he's not our informant, what does that tell us? It's 21 minutes after 11 o'clock. After the break, we take you back to the Madlanga Commission.
It's amazing what help can do. Help can take you from smart money moves to smart gadgets and household must-haves. With an FNB Premier Credit or Fusion card, get up to 40% back in e-bucks on devices and appliances. Open any FNB Premier account today, celebrating 25 years of helping you live the Premier life. FNB, help changes everything. TC's earn rules apply while stocks last. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Congratulations to the Lucky Powerball Plus jackpot winner who won over 6 million rand on Friday after playing at a retailer in Lone Hill, Gauteng. Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 44 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday, and you could win big. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda Push-Up Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
This festive, turn your family meetings into family eatings with the Nando's Festive Fill-Up Meal. A full flame grilled chicken, 2 sharing sides, 4 cheesy rissoles, 2 Cabo Societies, 2 Nando's rolls, and a 1.5-liter Coca-Cola for only $3.99 to enjoy at your place. And if your family meeting is at our place, get 40 Rand off. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
We Buy Cars reporting that it is facing pressure from cheaper new Chinese brands. As a result, it is facing a little bit of pressure on prices.
There's definitely been a shift in the market. Some of the legacy brands are struggling to compete with the offering, and there are so many entrants into the market, it's difficult to name them all and to even pronounce their names.
Van der Walt, founder and executive director at We Buy Cars.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show is brought to you by ABSA CIB. ABSA is a registered FSP.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
23 minutes after 11 o'clock. So far, Brown Mokhotsi has told the commission that Shadrack Sibia gave him Matlala's numbers, and the purpose was to convince Matlala that he is close to Mkhunu so that he can get the trust of Ket Matlala. Let's go back live to the Madlanga Commission.
Mr. Karim, as an investor in the tender, was that something that you established in the course of your investigations?
That's correct, Commissioners. Mr. Karim is Karim Suleiman Karim. He did, of course, showed me some documents that he has invested money in this tender with Vosimos Ket Matlala.
Can you then take the Commission through your meeting with Mr. Matlala on 7 December 2024 and what came out of that meeting?
I did, of course, call Matlala, engage with Matlala. A meeting was arranged on 7 December 2024, during which Matlala vented his frustrations regarding the SAPS tender. He intimated Intalia that SAPS had not made payments to him with reference to the tender. But after the meeting, and in December, I received a call from Matlala saying, because I think I must emphasize on 32 that this was a telephonic call, and then after I received the second call, that's when we met with Matlala, saying that I should speak to Mkunu, as he and his wife have been assaulted by members of the PKTT. He indicated that he was intent on and was indeed attempting to open a criminal case regarding the incident at SAPS Brooklyn. He was, however, unsuccessful due to the fact that the SAPS refused to open a docket and receive the complaint.
So, just to clarify, did you physically meet with Matlala at all on 7 December?
Yes, Matlala, we spoke over the phone, and I received a call from him, and he told me that he has a problem, he couldn't open a case. And in my response to that, I did call my handler to arrange for Matlala to open a criminal case at Soweto. And then it was my handler, Mabisela, who then spoke to my co-handler, who then facilitated the opening of a docket. Now, after Matlala thereafter was able to open the case through my intervention. So the case was opened at SAPS in Soweto on 7 December 2024. And on that day, me and Matlala met in Johannesburg.
And we're talking about a physical meeting?
Physical meeting.
I'm sorry, I should have just raised this with you earlier. You say in paragraph 31 that General Sabia gave you Matlala's contact numbers.
That's correct.
Did you not have those numbers yourself?
In my phone, I had different numbers, but I never spoke to him before. But the numbers that he gave me were those that on an official arrangement with SAPS through his tender.
So you had certain numbers for Mr. Matlala in your phone already?
Yes, but they never worked because I had the numbers in my phone.
So we've clarified then there was a physical meeting on 7 December. Can you go to paragraph 34 and indicate to the Commission what Mr. Matlala shared with you at that meeting?
Yeah, the meeting was very, very important because, Commissioners, it is Matlala who told me that these people are very ungrateful. He further spoke about General Begitele and General Masemola, saying that, these people expect me, like Masemola, expect 25 million rand from me, and I've already given him 5 million rand. He also spoke about Begitele, that he has given him 2 million rand, and he wanted 10 million, which means the 8 million rand was outstanding. One of the important things he said was that Gen Masemola and Tele, they are having a plan, a comeback strategy for General Begitele to come back, and they really, really want to get rid of General Sebeya.
And so this is information that Mr. Matlala is giving you about, as it were, factions within the SAPS.
Okay, may you rephrase the question?
Am I understanding your evidence correctly that this information about General Pele, General Masemola, General Sabia, it's coming from Mr. Matlala himself? And he's speaking to you about divisions within the SAPS?
Yes, he was telling me physically. We were together when he told me.
Can you please read what he said they expected from him. Please read it as is in paragraph 34.1.
They expected him as a service provider to make payment to General Masemola in the amount of 25 million and Jen Kelly in the amount of 10 million. Of the 25 million expected to be paid to Masemola, 5 million rent had already been paid and there was a balance of 20 million rent outstanding. With regard to the Cele payment, 2 million rent had already been paid and a balance of 8 million rent was outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And did he give you any indication of how he'd paid them, when he'd paid them, whether he was going to pay the balance?
No, we never spoke about how he paid. Usually, when you are investigating something, talking to someone, the moment, as soon as you get deeper to know how, he'll immediately doubt you. You will take it as information and keep it.
Did
All right.
Mr. Manyathela...
Yeah. I really hope this guy is lying. I hope he is lying. I mean, it sounds like he is, because, I mean, Fani Masemola has received 5 million from CAT, Becky Tele 2 million with an outstanding 8 million, Fani an outstanding 20 million. I hope these are just lies. He's making stuff up like we know him to be. Because if there's an element of truth to this, my goodness, we are doomed. We really are. It's 11:31. We'll take you back to the Madlanga Commission after the latest and Eyewitness News headlines. Bali, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. Former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba has been charged with corruption in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court today. Gigaba appeared alongside 4 others in the matter of a controversial Transnet locomotive deal worth billions of rands. Former Transnet executives Brian Molefe, Siyabonga Gama, Anoj Singh and engineer Tamsang Ngajiyane joined Gigaba in the dock today. Controversial Northwest businessman Brown Mokhotsi has made some shocking allegations at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today. Mokhotsi says there was suspicion that KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was working with the CIA in America. Mokhotsi claims that King Misizulu Gazwelithini was also suspected to be working with the CIA. His name has been mentioned a number of times with allegations that he is a political fixer who has infiltrated operations within the police service. And Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Gaza says he expects a preliminary report within 30 days on an investigation into alleged misconduct by some of the municipality's senior officials. Speaking at a media briefing in Germiston today, Gaza announced that he has launched an investigation into all officials implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Travelling on the M1 South, we've got bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu Interchange, and that's due to roadworks. Travelling in Hyde Park, we've got some delays along Winnie Mandela Drive just as you approach Jan Smuts Avenue. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South between Carr Street and the Crown Interchange, and travelling on the northerly direction of this route, do expect heavier traffic volumes between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange. Traffic lights are still out of order in Linksfield at the N3 North and Linksfield Road, as well as in Edenville at Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeek Road. More updates at the top of the hour with Karabo Jali. That's your last one from me, Amo Ramela. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Former President Kgalema Motlanthe setting firm guidelines for prospective councillor candidates for the ANC. They're doing the most extraordinary thing. They want to make sure these people are qualified. It's absolutely extraordinary, KG. From now on, ANC councillors will at least have a matric.
I'm from Joburg here. They didn't need a matric until now. That's mind-blowing. No background checks, none of that.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
As leaders in renewable energy finance, Nedbank is a proud sponsor of the B20 Summit. With 47 billion rand invested in renewable energy projects, Nedbank has financed 5 gigawatts of clean energy capacity. This proves that Nedbank doesn't just fund transformation, they fuel it by shining a light on Africa and its power. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
Since December 2024, South Africa has proudly led the G20, guided by a powerful theme: solidarity, equality, and sustainability. From the heart of Africa, we're bringing fresh voices and bold ideas, united by a commitment to build a future where no one is left behind, where economies grow fairly, and where our planet's health guides every decision. South Africa's G20 Presidency 2025, together shaping tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Department of International Relations and Cooperation.
This is Cindy on a 4-hour road trip with the girls.
Did you know in the 1970s this landmark...
And this is Cindy when she shares her 200 gig for 299 Rand on her MiFi router.
Guys, Dodo, you're the DJ.
Extra your summer with a 200 gig SIM-only data deal for only 299 Rand per month and stream anywhere with 2 months free YouTube Premium plus 5 gigs free YouTube data. Sign up or upgrade online and in store. T's and C's apply. Further together with Vodacom.
You know what success looks like. Now discover why focus is the driving force behind every success story. Catch 702 in conversation with Momentum on The Money Show with Stephen Krutters every Thursday, discussing the science of success. Step into the mindset of top financial achievers and discover how your thinking, behavior, and focus can shape lasting financial success. That's 702 in conversation with Momentum. Thursdays on The Money Show with Stephen Krutters. Momentum, your journey to success on 702. Momentum is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. 702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
24 before 12 o'clock, we're back at the Madlanga Commission where Brown Mokgotsi is testifying.
To the other division that Mr. Matlala had told you about, that you have General Masemola and Minister Cele on the one hand and General Sibia on the other. Or is this just a completely different split within the SAPS?
Yes. Honestly speaking, commissioners, I believe at the right time also I will talk to the relationship between General Bekitele Masemola, General Kumalo, and I've even given them a particular term, which as we proceed, I'll be able to. Yes, the moment he mentioned that Lieutenant General Kumalo, Lieutenant General Mkonazi, there is a Major General Kumalo also in the KZN. It is him, who addressed the senior police to say, we expect you, this is how we expect you to perform during the hearing. Because now, according to the lieutenant telling me, the instruction from General Kumalo and General Mkonazi is that they must find this Major General Khan guilty, and he must be dismissed.
I'm not sure that you understood my question. What I was asking is that you're now flagging a division within SAPS of... What I was asking is that you're now flagging a division within SAPS of two generals, Generals Kumalo and Mkonazi on one hand, and General Khan on the other hand. Is that division in any way related to the division that you spoke about earlier with General Sibia on one hand, General Masemola on the other hand with ex-Minister Cele?
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarity. Yeah, it is true. That is the crime intelligence, the division of the South African Police Service. The same division which, when I spoke initially with General Mfazi and General Sibia, I was referring to. That was one of the cracks that I identified within the crime intelligence. The moment he says, and I did ask him, who's Major General Khan? And he said, is this other, but he knew him. And he explained to me, I did not know him that time. And furthermore said, yeah, it seems like Kumalo and Konazi, they want to get rid of him. That's when immediately, because the recording is there, and then we were able to perform this whole thing. Then I realized that there are factions, and this is the unit which was referred to.
So just to clarify again, you were involved in a 252A operation.
That's correct.
Which involves essentially setting a trap.
That's correct.
And the target of the trap, or the targets, were Generals Mkonazi and Kumalo.
No. Remember, the senior officer, as he was talking to me, he did mention that they have promised him a colonel position. Not a colonel, no, they promised him a position. And with me, as we were talking, he was mentioning of a similar offer that I should perhaps be able, because I'm close to the minister with my legend building. He thinks I can also give him something better. Then the recording talks to that he was expecting something from me, which may be in the form of a promotion or something of that sort.
Sorry, but I just need to take you back to paragraph 36. You say the intention, second sentence, the intention was to employ this person, that's the officer, as a Section 204 witness against both Lieutenant Colonel Kumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi.
Yes, it's true. The first question you mentioned, 252A, it was a trap. But because we have trapped him already, now is my time to tell him that I expect you to be a 204. To help me against Lieutenant General Mkonazi and General Kumalo. Because he was recorded already, telling me the instruction they have given him on the plot against General Khan.
So the 252A didn't relate to his future testimony in the disciplinary hearing. It related to what? To your meeting with him when you recorded him?
Both two sections becomes instrumental to remember the 252A was to trap on what he wanted, what he expected that I could be able to give him, as he has given me the information. And now I immediately use that information against him to say, now I need your testimony. We are going to testify against General Mkonazi and General Kumalo about their plot against General Khan, which was the plan.
So the trap that you say you had already entrapped him, I think that's the language you use. You had trapped him already. What was it that he's supposed to have done wrong that gives you that bargaining position to say he must now testify against the two generals?
The expectation of a rank. Remember he said, if I give you, say something, at least you must talk to the minister to give me a rank or something.
So it is that he said you must give him a rank that constituted what you've trapped him on.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And when was the meeting with him at which you trapped him?
It was during December 2024.
I don't want to. I just want to mention now that I think when we go to the chats with Mr. Matlala, we may see that it's in January 2024. But are you? Is it? So I don't. We'll get into it in some detail when we go through those chats. But why do you say December 2024?
Because the disciplinary, I went to inquire, I spoke to the handler. He did confirm when arranging with Lieutenant Colonel Schnell, he did confirm that there is a disciplinary hearing which is underway against this particular General Khan.
Okay, well, we can look at the chronology as it plays out in the chats later. What then happened? Did the trap go ahead?
Upon him agreeing to the 204, and because he was recorded already and the information was with the DPCI, now it was incumbent upon the side of Lieutenant Schnell to proceed with the investigations and so forth. But the only thing that I did with the copy of the recording that I had, after speaking to my handler, the conversation, the information was leaked to the media, and it was leaked by me, purposely, and upon by General Kumalo and General Mkhwanazi. They had no choice because the information has leaked, and that's why I believe General Khan was acquitted. There was nothing he could do because there was a recording that proves that there was a plot to dismiss General Khan. And I heard him when he was here, if you remember, commissioners, he said after he has accepted to preside over General Khan's disciplinary hearing, I started talking to him. It is true. That was the period.
So let me just take a step back. You leaked the information to the media.
That's correct.
And the information that you leaked to the media was that certain witnesses had been pressurized to give false evidence.
And you will be given promotions. I think
in return for
the publication is available in one of the minutes.
But that was leaked. What you leaked to the media.
That's me.
And that had the result, in your view, of General Mkhwanazi acquitting General Khan.
Yeah, that's what happened. He had no choice. He ended up acquitting General Khan.
And what then happened with the Section 204 and the trap?
That commissioner, as senior counsel has alluded, that he has managed to obtain the transcript from Lieutenant Schnell. I believe he'll be in a better position also to give senior counsel the progress relating to that matter.
And can I'm still not understanding the sequence, and in particular Section 252. You would have to get authorization under Section 252A to run a trap, would you not?
That's correct.
So when did you intend, or when did you seek authorization, and when did you intend to run the trap?
Through my handler, there is also a verbal authority to obtain the particular authorization, and it was done. I believe Lieutenant Colonel Schnell will confirm the process as to how the whole thing unfolded. But it was done in my presence by my handler, because it was a verbal authority.
Right, it's 11 minutes before 12 o'clock.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Sir, ma'am, may I take your order?
Yeah, let me get the New York cut, medium rare, truffle fries on the side, and the lady'll have the salmon. Grilled, not poached. 2 dirty martinis. Real dirty.
Leafy, what's with the voice?
Oh, I came over all Tony Soprano.
Get into character on a city break with Premier Hotels and Resorts. Stay Friday and Saturday and get Sunday night for free. Book now at premierhotels.co.za.
Day 20, awaiting proof of payment. Day 30, still waiting. Day 40, funds finally cleared. In business, credit with 55 interest-free days keeps you moving. We get it. Get an ABSA Business Credit Card. Use over 50% of your credit and initiation fees will be on us. Offer ends 31 December 2025. Apply at absa.co.za/business. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. ABSA, your story matters.
7:02.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes before 12.
149 was paid to the company called Hotle, and payments were made to service providers by the company. The additional travel for the 8 persons mentioned was paid directly by Matlala.
Can you explain to the Commission what your link to Hotle is?
The Hotle is the company owned by my fiancé. Now, to ensure when you do this traveling arrangement, it happens all the time. You do payment to certain people, and the transactions or services end up not being rendered. But then with Hotle, I knew, because we had to, other payments had to go to buses, others to flights, others they had to be poured petrol. Now we wanted a central way of controlling the funds. That's why I used my fiancé.
So you were able to direct what would happen to the payments that were made to Hotle?
They're not only on people who were already in Cape Town, because the payment arrived when we were in Cape Town already. Yes.
And who were the service providers who were paid out of this 149,000 that was ultimately paid?
Those are different people. Like I said, you will have other people been traveling by bus. You will have people at Cape Town. They say, Tina, we want to eat this. Others will have to be given, or you have to buy from a restaurant. Others you buy in a bulk. It depends. The money had to be available that side and be controlled. But as to other service providers, it is only Hotle that is able to prepare who else did they pay the money to.
And are you able to account for that 149,000 as to where it went?
No, Hotle must do. I'm not the director of Hotle. They have to deal with that, and if the commission requests them to do so.
Okay, but your fiancé could account for that?
Yeah, those are entities. Maybe as I'm here, I may have another fiancé. It's not a thing that I can control her business.
You say you are not a director. Do you have any relationship whatsoever with this company?
Not company, the individual, the person.
So you have nothing to do with Hotle?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Do you get paid by Hotle?
No. I'm not getting paid. It's a business. She manages things. Where as a traveling agent, here and there she'll take a percentage. That's her thing. Yes.
You say it was never your intention that Matlala would meet with Mkhunu in paragraph 41. Can you just elaborate there?
Yes, indeed. One of the instructions from the handler was that both the handler and the handlers, Ket Matlala must never meet with Senzo Mkhunu. My responsibility would rather be to manage him or to say things that I know would never materialize. But it was a clear instruction that they should never meet. And indeed, they never met.
And did you know why there was that instruction?
Yes, remember the intention on this company was to investigate the director who comes from being a John Wick, who's now Ket Matlala. There was no way you could bring that person closer to the minister.
Sorry, there's no way?
You could bring that person close to the minister, Commissioner.
You say at the last minute you informed Matlala that the minister wouldn't be attending the ANC celebration, and you suggested as an alternative that General Sabia, Matlala and yourself should meet in Camps Bay.
Yes, that was a consolation. Remember, on the last minute when I informed him that the minister is not in the celebration, is not in Cape Town, he also decided that he's no more coming. But I couldn't just say, when you operate on somebody, you can't say the minister is not coming and you just close the conversation. You have to tell him, but I think because Sabia is also in Cape Town, you can come and let's meet with him.
What would the purpose of meeting with Sabia be?
There won't be any purpose, because I knew he wanted to meet the minister, was to make him realize that I tried something because the minister is not here.
But what interest would Mr. Matlala have in meeting with General Sabia? Why would that be an offer that would be attractive to him?
No, if there was no way, I couldn't say to him, come and meet comrades. You would want him to meet someone. Remember, if he has frustrations about his business, you would want him to meet someone. Remember, General Sabia is a Deputy National Commissioner. It's not like I'm saying, come and meet Maliki, or you give him someone who will make him realize that, oh, you mean business.
3 minutes before 12.
Step into a world of unforgettable experiences in Dubai. From luxury beaches to underwater adventures. From authentic traditions to futuristic museums. Make it a Dubai adventure to remember with Emirates. Fly to Dubai from one of 3 gateways in South Africa. Start your holiday the moment you board, with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks, and up to 6,500 channels of entertainment. Fly Emirates, fly better.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
702 was in conversation with Nedbank, discussing all the insights, opinions, and expectations of the B20 Summit.
So what the B20 does is it's a summit that happens before the G20 where business element to assist with policy initiatives is discussed and some consensus is driven and obtained through that space. For example, on the energy space, we were trying to get some consensus of how the world should use the sustainability model, what can we do in terms of empowering or powering the world, the climate crisis, all those agendas, and bring a business element into that so that when the policymakers eventually do meet and the heads of states, it's well tuned in and of course it helps make it policy into a reality.
To hear the full lowdown, visit primemediaplus.com. Brought to you by Nedbank, proud sponsors of the B20 Summit on 702. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. Coming up
On the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
Coming up next, the Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. How are you doing, Mandy?
Good, thanks, and you?
Good. No doubt you'll also be trying to understand what's happening at the Madlanga Commission.
Yeah, I've been watching and listening with great fascination to the claims being made by Brian Mokgotsi today. So we'll keep listening in there and bring you the latest. At the same time, crime researcher Mary de Haas is giving testimony at the ad hoc inquiry in Parliament. So we'll speak to our reporter on that and bring you some of that. And then, just in case we haven't got enough inquiries going on, Shamila Batoy is testifying at Andrew Chauke's inquiry. This all costs a lot of money, you know.
Yeah.
Malusi Gigaba has appeared in court. He's been charged with corruption in the Transnet matter. So progress for the NPA there. The city of Joburg is registering informal traders. So we'll bring you the latest on that one as well.
That's the Midday Report coming up on the, it's not the Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. We changed things around today because we wanted you to hear what Brian Mokgotsi has to say. Keep listening to 702 for the latest coming out of the Madlanga Commission. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Lamini. Let's begin in the courts. Former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba is accused of receiving kickbacks from locomotive deals within Transnet. He appeared in court today alongside 4 others in connection with controversial contracts